Okay, in this clip we're going to look at time, and I'll show you how you can use a scientific calculator to correctly work with time. Time questions are often badly answered on GCSE papers, and the main point of confusion is that people assume that we can add, subtract, multiply time in the same way we can with decimal numbers. And we can't do that because with decimal numbers we count in tens, hundreds, thousands, whereas in time it doesn't work like that. We've got 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, and so on. So the normal methods don't work. And to demonstrate that, if we just look at working in decimal first of all, if I buy two items costing £6.53 and £1.48, how much have I spent? So if I do that as a non-calculator addition, 8 and 3 is 11, 1 down, and here I'm carrying a 10. 4 and 5 is 9 and 1 is 10, so again I'm carrying because it's gone over 10. 6, 7, 8. So £8 and 1, and then you would do a subtraction to get the change from £10. And here then you've got to do some borrowing. You end up saying that that is 9, like that. So you've got 1 from 10 is 9, 0 from 9 is 9, 8 from 9 is 1, so £1.99. So we're borrowing tens, we're carrying tens. Here, exactly the same digits that I'm working with in there, but here now the context is time. If it is 6:53 now, what time will it be in 1 hour and 48 minutes? So if I was to do that as an addition, the answer would be 1 minute past 8. But if I do it by counting on, and often, don't be shy of doing something like this, where you produce a little timeline for yourself. So if you go from 6:53, so in 1 hour, I'm going from 6:53 would take me to 7:53. Then from 7:53 to 8 o'clock is another 7 minutes. So I've gone 1 hour 7 minutes. I got another 41 minutes to go. So would take me to 08:41. So what you're doing is you're counting in full hours, and then how many minutes up to the next hour of time, and then beyond that. So the actual answer is it'll be 8:41, not 8:01. So you can see the difference in the reality when you're working with time. So often people learn a method like that in primary school, and then they're almost embarrassed to use it when it comes to a question like that. For goodness sake, if it's easier to do it that way than in your head, I think it is, then that's certainly what you should do. And similarly, how much time will then elapse until 10 o'clock? Well, if we did it as a subtraction like that, we'd get an answer of 1 hour and 99 minutes, which is clearly not right. But now we're going 08:41, jump to the nearest hour, which would be 9 o'clock, which is 19 minutes, and then from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock is 1 hour, so the answer is 1 hour and 19 minutes. So little timelines, really helpful. However, when you're on a paper 2 where you're allowed to use a calculator, there's a really nifty button on the calculator which not many people know how to use, which is the one there that my pen is pointing to, which looks like a line of punctuation with full stops and commas. That actually works in units of time, units of hours, minutes and seconds. So I just need to change this slightly because I've changed the numbers on one of the pages. So for the previous question, the button presses would be, so the previous question was 6:53, 1 hour 48. 6:53, 1:48. So to do that, I know that I should get the answer of 8:41. So to do that on your calculator, you would do 6 hours 53 minutes plus 1 hour 48 minutes equals, and there you go, 8:41. So as a time, that would be 0841. So what you have to remember is you need to press the button twice. With a decimal point you wouldn't, you would just write 6.53 plus. But with the time button you have to press it twice. One to say this is 6 hours and 53 minutes. And then the second part of it I need to change as well. That becomes 8:41. So I'm doing 10 hours, no minutes, it's exactly 10 o'clock. Take away 8 hours 41 minutes, and we want 1 hour 19 from that, and there it is. So it's a really, really useful function to know about on your calculator. So here are some paper 2 questions actually taken off proper past papers. So what is the difference between the following times? So 7:30 on the 1st of November 2017 and 13:20 on the 3rd. Well, we need to jump forward in full days before we use our calculator. So 7:30 1st of the 11th, 7:30 2nd of the 11th, 7:30 3rd of the 11th is 1 day, 2 days. And then I want to go from 13:20, or from 7:30 to 13:20. What's the time difference? So the time difference, 13 hours 20 minutes. Take 7 hours 30 minutes. 5 hours and 50 minutes. Divide 16 hours 20 minutes by 5. So on your calculator, do this again, paper 2, 16 hours 20 minutes divided by 5 equals 3 hours 16 minutes. If you didn't know about the time button, that's a much more complicated question, because you'd end up working with the 16 hours first of all, then the 20 minutes, and having to change them from decimal into minutes. So knowing about that button makes that such an easy question. And this is another very common numeracy question where you're looking at buses or trains leaving every repeated number of minutes. So a bus timetable from Orme station to Outlet Village. Only 55 minutes from Orme direct to the Outlet Village. Buses leave the station every 12 minutes from 8 AM until 12 noon, and every 24 minutes from 12 noon until 10 PM. At what time does the first bus after 9 o'clock leave Orme station? So they leave every 12 minutes after 8. So the first one at 8, then 8:12, 8:24, and so on. And you can list those, but you can get your calculator to do it for you if you're on a paper too. So what we do is we type in the starting time, so it's 8 AM, 8 hours, no minutes, and then we press equals to say, right, well that's where we're starting from, and now I want to repeatedly add 12 minutes. So I pressed equals, and now plus no hours, 12 minutes. And what happens now is it repeatedly adds 12 minutes onto the previous answer. So we've got 8:12, 24. All I'm doing now is repeatedly pressing equals until I go after 9 o'clock. Well, there's one at 9 o'clock, so the first one after 9 o'clock is 9:12. Gwyll looks at the timetable shown above. He decides to take the latest possible bus to be at Outlet Village by 15 o'clock. At what time will Gwyll arrive at the Outlet Village? So it's the afternoon, so it's every 24 minutes from 12 noon. So we've got a bus leaving at 12 noon. Plus 24 minutes, no hours, 24 minutes. So there's one at 12:24, one at 12:48, one at 13:12, one at 13:36, one at 2 o'clock, one at 14:24, and so on. Now I want to know, he wants to get there by 3 o'clock, and it's a 55-minute journey. So if he gets on to the 14 o'clock and it's a 55-minute journey, he arrives there at 14:55. These are departure times, that's the arrival time. Question's asking, what time will Gwyll arrive at the Outlet Village? Well, he can catch any of these buses and he'll be there by 3 o'clock, but he wants to get the latest possible bus, which is going to be this one, which will arrive at 14:55. So again, that could come up on a paper one where you haven't got a calculator, in which case that's the method you would use by counting on yourself, and be careful when you come to crossing an hour. But if it's on a paper two and you can remember how to use that time button, it really does make it a very easy question.